What does it mean to be a mature adult? Do you consider yourself to be a mature adult? Do you consider yourself to be striving towards being a mature adult? That's the question, I suppose. For this video, I'm going to use a definition that I found to be good enough, which is that maturity is taking on more information at once before you act on it. So if you're in a conflict, that you're able to take on both sides, understand both sides, and then make a decision rather than getting caught on one side or the other. So again, this comes back to paradox. This comes back to the virtues, this comes back to the workshops, this comes back to this paradoxical nature of reality, this yin yang, and exactly what our relationship should be to that. How can I learn to be authentic, listen to what's coming from inside, and also be humble, listen to what's coming from the outside? They seem to go against each other. How can I learn to be assertive and to claim what I want and to assert what I need and this kind of energy providing, and also be accepting? Again, those two things seem to be at odds with one another. What about, and this one might kind of raise a few hairs, what about love as a virtue? It's very virtuous to be a loving person. It is also very virtuous to be a detached person, as the whole Stoic philosophy is kind of predicated on, which is that it's so cool if you have a skill that you're able to do, but if you're able to do it with a bit of detachment and just being like, just be chill about it, that's the height of skill. So there are these paradoxes, and you can agree and disagree on certain ones, but it's an age-old idea that there is a yin and a yang, that there is a push and a pull, that there are these opposites. Even from a Christian heritage, you have the cross, which is your vertical, your past, present, future, and your horizontal, your eternal now, just being in the moment and trying to balance those out. How often should I learn from the past? How often should I plan for the future? How often should I enjoy, really be present in the moment? And the crucifixion as an actual symbol, then, like historical artifact of killing, of execution, seems very apt for such a struggle. It's difficult. So, do I say all of this to weigh you down with this reality? Do I say all of this to just, oh, isn't it so heavy? No, of course I do not, because as always, if you are following the virtues, this should be life invigorating, this should be life affirming, this should be yes to all. So the topic or the idea I want to put in front of you today is what I suppose I need to introduce one more word here, which is convergence. To converge on something means to align yourself with it, to kind of meet with it. So as two people are in conflict, perhaps they converge on a solution. If you are trying to find out information, if you're doing research, perhaps you're converging with facts, with reality, with some theory, some idea. You're converging. If you're playing music together, perhaps you're converging on a melody together, or you're converging on a rhythm or a beat, or these different things of meeting. And then divergent is when you diverge from the norm, when you go out on your own, when you split off. So, and by the way, yin and yang, you always want to be doing both. You want to both fit in with the group, but also be an individual. So here's the thing. But if we apply that to paradoxes, if we apply that to the actual yin yang itself, the idea I want to put forward to you is that to transcend, to mature, to kind of to become bigger than you are, to be more than you are, is to hold paradoxes and to converge on both. So I want to be authentic. Am I becoming more authentic in my day-to-day? Am I converging on that point? If so, then I'm doing a good job. also, and at the same time, am I also being humble? Am I developing there, and am I converging on that point? Okay, by converging on both, somehow I'm reaching into something that I don't know. I'm reaching into this quality that is maturity. I'm reaching into this quality of perhaps at its most being enlightened. Although, geez, if that word isn't overused, so I regret instantly using it. But if we're aiming to be mature, if we're aiming to be wise, and to be able to navigate ourselves and this crazy time that we're existing in with all of these multiple problems, we're going to need to be wise. It's no longer going to, we're not going to need to be knowledgeable, because we can search it, we can find the knowledge. We're going to need to know how to use it. And we don't want to get caught on either side. I do not want to get caught on authenticity and simply be authentic and then ignore everyone else. It doesn't matter. This is my truth. This is how you get delusion. And then you also don't want to get caught in humility, because you will withdraw and you will lose yourself that way. And you'll get caught up in someone else's delusion. The same for being assertive and being accepting. I want to assert myself in this conversation. I want to put myself forward in work, with friends, with hobbies, with sports, with competition. I want to assert my abilities, my skills, who I am, what I'm about. I want to assert. Am I converging on that point? Good. Okay. Am I also becoming a more accepting person of just how difficult competition is, of just how complex reality is, of all this new information that you're learning when you're in a relationship, or again, friends, family, or partners. And then the last one, and I suppose this is if the other two don't catch you, maybe this one will, which is love and detachment. So am I becoming a more loving person? Am I inviting more people in? Am I opening myself up? Am I welcoming people into just my space? Or do I have my headphones in all the time? So am I welcoming? Am I being a more loving person? And then am I being detached at the same time? Am I performing this video because I want to, and whether it works or not, it's still something I'm committed to. It is a leap of faith. It is a hill I'm willing to die on. It is where I'm placing my existential bet. It is just what I believe in, and however it gets responded to, I will learn. But this video doesn't capture all my thoughts on it, so it's not this totality of me. Can I perform, basically? Can I act? As in, like, if I'm up on stage and I'm actually acting, or if I'm singing, or if I'm playing music, I'm performing. And that's not the true me. If someone says, hey, your music ability, you need to practice more, that wasn't good. Do I have the detachment to say, oh yes, that skill needs upgrading, but me, myself, I'm still a human, I'm still a person, I'm still capable of being loved? They seem like opposites, they seem like paradoxes. And yet, if we try to converge on both, we will have this like step forward into just an unknown space of maturity, of perhaps wisdom. So, do not get overwhelmed by paradoxes. Do not get overwhelmed by the absurd and these topics that I'm going on about lately. Invite them in. Hold both. Try to converge on both, and accept that by converging on authenticity, you're going to make mistakes on humility. By converging on humility, you're going to make mistakes on authenticity. And yet, if you're converging on both, even with those mistakes, even with that wiggle room, you are stepping forward. That's the idea I want to put forward to you today. So if there are any troubles you're having at the moment, if there is any conflict within you, if I asked you to tell me about some issue, some topic that's alive for you today, what topic would come up? What would be the paradox in it? And are you striving towards both? And if so, I think you'll find a remarkable sense of peace and acceptance, and also an ability to assert yourself. So, with that, I'm going to say thank you for your time and attention. I hope you've had a great week. I hope you're looking forward to the week to come. And honestly, just thank you for watching. Bye, guys.